Hi, everyone. Stephen Austin here, ANC. Want to welcome everybody back. Today, we have a very special guest. We have David Dykeman, the UFL Director for Football Operations. He's taken time out of his busy schedule in the middle of the season to join us today. Welcome, David. How are you?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here.
Good deal. Good deal. We're going to talk today a lot about combines, what the role is they play in scouting, how the various stakeholders are impacted, not just the team, the scouts, the coaches, but even agents, and of course the players themselves. Um, so I want to start off, as you all may, or I think you all know, that ANC is uh, the regional combine partner to the UFL. So when they're in the middle of the season, they're still looking for talent, and they use ANC to uncover talent, to identify talent. And David and I work very closely together. So my first question, David, is what role would you, in your mind, in your view, in the league's view, does ANC or combines in general play in your scouting process?
Yeah, I think that ANC and the combine and our showcases have played an incredibly crucial role in the development of not only the legacy XFL, but as we continue to grow and build now the UFL. I think combines are so important. It gets our scouts relevant, recent data on prospects, and which is at times, times from 2 years ago may not be as valuable as something we can get this spring and know those measurables. And it also gets us the time to be around a variety of different prospects. And I think they provide an opportunity for players that maybe, for one reason or another, haven't been able to get to that next level. And they were able to be, found in these combines. And we've had some incredible success stories coming out of them.
Let me ask you about the measurables. What is it about measurables that are so important at all our combines and showcases? We always run the 40 and the 3 cone, and we measure the broad jump and so on and so forth. We get these measurables. What's so important about them in terms of the scouting process? What step do they play?
I think like everything else, measurables are an important part of the scouting process. They allow you to vet prospects. They're level set, and that's one of the amazing things about our partnership, Stephen, is we know when we get numbers from ANC, they're real numbers. We know they're accurate numbers, they're accurate measurables. And then that allows us to, compare different prospects. So I think they're certainly a crucial part. They're not the entire part, but they play a really important role. And getting accurate measurables is just as important. And that's why we've always been, so excited to get ANC reports, to be at ANC events.
Well, we do make an effort. All of our drill coaches and all of our scouts are all retired, or former or active NFL personnel, and we've all worked, of course, for you, for not just the UFL but XFL and XFL before that. So, one thing I want to ask you: do measurables have an expiration date? For example, a player will call and go, "Yeah, I run a 4.4," and I go, "Okay, well that's fine. Where did you run it? Who timed you? And when did you when were you timed?" And they say, "Oh yeah, it was last November, like some months ago." Is that a factor when you're looking at the results? When a person, do the measurables have an
Yeah, I think
expiration date?
it's a concern. I ran this. Well, have you put on weight since last November? How has your body changed? Have you had any injuries? So, not to say that you need to run every month, but I certainly think that, seeing it, having that accurate data is crucial. And I think, around when the player needs to be ready, and I think that's so. Is there an expiration? No, but is it important to be relevant and recent? 100%. And I think any of us in the scouting world would always say, I want to see it. I want to trust those numbers. I want to know where they came from.
Well, it's funny
And there's
because
lots of places that don't give you accurate information.
yeah, that's funny. Remind everybody wants their own time. I don't know if I think the folks who are listening know that I'm now consulting with the NFL, and we've been working on this pretty cool new concept called conference pro days, consolidated pro days. And we just finished running the Big 12 pro day, 137 players. And David, you got the results. You're the partnership with the NFL and the UFL, and we always supply the data and so on and so forth. And those are fresh numbers. All those players have really not had a pro watch or evaluation. The very first step. What in a performance for a first timer, like the draft eligible player, what is the one or two things that you look for that you really have to be satisfied with before you even continue your evaluation?
I think every scout has something to them that they really look at and measurable. One of our GMs, in our league, I know he's obsessed with the three cone. And for him, that is the measurable. That is the most important measurable. The ability to change direction, and bend your hips and move is so important. And that for him is a crucial test that he wants to see. I
Everything
think
starts
position
at
specific, I
everything
think
starts for him at the
yeah,
three.
everything starts at the three cone, and then I think people are just worried about it positionally. Am I worried about what a quarterback runs on the 40? Probably not, but you want to know that he can run. But I certainly, wide receivers, when you try and evaluate a large amount of players at once, to have those measurables, accurate data right in front of you right now, it allows you to, really eliminate the players that probably can't be successful, and then focus your time and effort for the remainder of the combine on those players, and to be able to evaluate obviously all the other skill sets that we're going to look at.
Right. I know that everybody loves to get their own time at the Big 12. It's kind of funny. 32 teams, each of them have like two scouts. We had 40 up in the stands and 30 on the field. And everybody wants their, their own watch. So it is important. I know for me too, where time comes from. So, excuse me. So another thing I want to ask you about is, there's you and I both get called by agents a lot. I have a guy, he's great, blah, 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 blah. And there's so many agents out there, that have free agent clients. What do you think the value is of that agent sending their client to an ANC combine or a showcase, whatever, even paying the registration for? What is the benefit that agent gets out of that, in your opinion, by sending a player to a combine, other than the obvious, which is exposure to, the NFL and the UFL?
It gets reliable information, and that's something that you can't always get on a player. If I don't know the agent, if I don't know who we're dealing with, it was no different when you were scouting players in college. If you don't know the coach, you want that information. So certainly, I think for a player to go to an ANC combine as an agent, I think it allows the agent to get reliable, accurate information to be able to provide to the UFL in the process the numbers that we have, numbers that we trust, and we know based on our partnership and our history together, that now I know, okay, I've gone through step one. I know that I have that information. Now let me go to step 2 and 3, and go down that process.
I know we we film the players. There's the Gold Band video, which is a high production service that ANC provides. I assume you all look at those videos first because they send them right to you. So film, watching the video, let's say you can't make it or what have you, those camera angles, is that a pretty good, I don't want to say substitute, but does film really help out in addition to the measurables that we send?
Yeah, I think even if you watch a player live, you always want to go back and watch the film afterwards. I was a coach for a long time. I used to say, yeah, you never know how well you played till you watch the film. You could think you played terribly and you go back and wow, we actually did some really good things, or vice
Oh,
versa. And I
interesting.
think it's the same thing to go watch a player live, super important. But
Right.
what's going on? What are the other distractions? And then it's okay, let me focus now. Let me just look. All right, I know I liked these 10 players that I saw. but I want to go back and watch every rep that the player did. And maybe I didn't get that chance, with a group of guys working out.
Right. They call the UFL quite accurately. I know The Rock does, um, and Danny Garcia does League of Opportunity. You know, and you guys just seem relentless in finding players and giving opportunity. You don't just do it for a couple of months out of the year. It's almost year round. It's like you never stop looking. Did you guys make a conscious decision to turn scouting into almost a complete calendar effort?
100%, 100%. I mean, it's the lifeblood of our league will be the talent of our players. And, to just rely on, all right, I did a couple pro days or something isn't enough for us. We've got to dig more into the players, get more into the history, get more of an understanding of the backgrounds. Why did a guy, what has held that player back potentially? What's the history? So yeah, it's for us, scouting and recruiting is a year-round effort. It's why we have our partnership. Excited to announce, our showcase schedule for the summer here soon, and really, really important.
Uh, you know, I think you and I discussed that this year we're going to do interviews. So at ANC for the real standout players, the top performing guys who really just, jump out of the gym for us. We're gonna try and get a feel for who they are and a series of basically the questions that at the NFL we use at the Indy Combine and so on and so forth. Um, are you excited about that? Does that help you in terms of um, another layer of evaluation? And if so, how does that work?
I think it's a big puzzle, right? So we talked about measurables, you talk about play, and then I look in our league and at times you sit there and say, okay, why is this player with that talent level? Why hasn't that elevated to the NFL? Right. So those are the next pieces. Well, how are they coachable? Attitude, all those different pieces. Are they going to be somebody that is willing to put in the work to get to this point? So yeah, I mean to get an interview, to get a more in-depth understanding of the player, the background, the history, is just another major piece to that puzzle, which goes into, all right, how do I build a team?
Well, we're looking forward to, let's see, our third or fourth year together, providing you guys with the independent combine results. Um, you're in the middle of the season. You've got 4 games to go, and you've got the playoffs, and it's super exciting, and the quality of play is outstanding. And I just want to thank you for taking time. And I know you're busy to talk with us because I bring these videos to the players and to the agents, to the parents, to the significant others. So so you've really helped them understand the process they're in to try and get an opportunity with the League of Opportunity. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely great to be here. Thanks again.
You got it.